And I'm back again with something that is almost of substance this time. Yay! This little thing right here is not what I was going for this week, but it's what was finished, because I have had a kinda shitty week, so I couldn't do the thing that I actually wanted to do. And I'm doing this instead, because this is something I did do. And what this is an old project that I have gone back to now. It's about a year old, but I haven't worked on it for a year. I've been going on and off about it and not really done much on it overall. But this time I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to motivate myself to keep working on it until it's finished by making videos about it. So maybe you'll see more of this if it goes well. If you're wondering what happened to the previous game, that thing that they couldn't figure out, I still haven't figured it out. I just can't, and it kind of sucked the passion out of the project very fast. But this passion is not dead yet, so I'm just gonna show you around that's what this is. As you can see, it's a whole lot of placeholder garbage here. Nothing looks pretty. Except for this bottle, it looks kind of pretty. It needs a texture though. It doesn't have a texture because I haven't figured out textures. So, no, there we go. So basically, what this is again an old game that I was working on previously, and the reason I stopped working on it was partially that, well, one, I was kind of having a break on it, but also that it's in JavaScript. I no longer work in JavaScript, I work in C#. So it came after it came before my transition into that, which means that if I want to work more on it, I would have to translate every single script into C# and also update them, because it's a thing where whenever I return to an old project, I always have to update the script, because I've always learned more, and I always look back at them and I think, what the fuck was I doing? I need to do better, I can do better. And after a bit of rather upsetting work, I have finally done just that, and I've translated all the scripts and improved upon them, and now the game is better than ever, yay! So hopefully I can actually stick with this long enough to make something good out of it, because this is a game I really want to finish, because it would be cool. So what is this game? That's what I really hear. You don't want to hear about the processes behind it. Well, that's what I'm going to talk about anyway, but first of all, the game itself. So what this is the idea is that you are supposed to be playing as a witch, or well, I guess a magic user overall, but in a specific game that I'm making, you're going to be a witch no matter what. You're not going to get any say in that. I'm going to force you into gender roles. And, well, it's based on an idea I had for more of an open world RPG kind of thing, where you kind of just live alone as a magic user, and you just kind of go around collecting things you need for potions and spells, and just kind of all about character progression, that sort of thing. But this thing I'm making here is not really that. It's more of a concept demo of sorts. And me being a horror junkie, it is a horror-themed demo concept demo. So it's the same idea. You're still a witch, you're still using magic in the brewing potions, but there's horror stuff. The idea of the game is that there has been a curse cast upon the area where you live, and a bunch of evil spirits are coming through and fucking up your shit. So you gotta perform a ritual to banish them all. And of course, doing so is gonna require you to go out there where they are in order to collect what you need for the ritual and that kind of stuff. So what I have so far of the game is what you see here, and what you see here I'm gonna explain now what it all is. So first we have these little mushrooms right here, these little items. And this is a little neat thing where if you hover over them, they light up. Why did they light up? Because you can collect them. And the same thing goes for these little guys right here. Little pearlies. So that's something you can do. This is a shitty door I just made, and you'll see why in a bit. So yeah, the inventory isn't really well developed yet. I'm gonna work on that next, probably. Basically, so far all it does is that it stores items like within a variable, but it only stores mushrooms and pearls. It doesn't like add in the item no matter what it is as long as an item. It specifically has to be one of these two. And if I just worked on that more and just had one variable for every item you could collect, that would be a nightmare, and I'm not gonna do that. That's what lists are for. That's what arrays are for. That kind of thing. So yeah, shitty inventory system that isn't done yet, but what's really exciting is the magic. So now I'm gonna show you the magic, which looks like so. Look how pretty it is. It's a rainbow. Whoa. So yeah. In case there's anyone in my audience, my currently very small audience, who recognizes this, this is indeed something I ripped off from Arx Fatalis, a game I played when I was younger. Pretty cool game. Pretty cool magic system, which is why I'm stealing it. And basically what you do in that magic system, as it was in this one, is that you take this thing and then you paint symbols in the air in order to cast magic, rather than just pressing a button or something lame like that. So I'm just going to show you off the spells that I have. Come on. Lights off, lights on. Oh, that one wasn't in range. Lights on. So yeah, it's a simple, you do a line and then you cast a spell for turning lights on and off. Which is gonna be handy if you want to light things up in the dark, spooky game, or if you want to light things down so that you won't be spotted and whatever. And for further illumination, you also have one of the hardest ones to draw, which is a triangle, and I made it in one go. Great. And now I have a glowy thing attached to it, so that you can actually see what you're doing when you're wandering out in the dark forest, which this whole game will be taking place in. I swear it won't take place on a green plain with a bunch of fucking ugly-ass objects. This is not the final terrain, I swear. And yeah, this thing will light your way so that you know what you're doing, and it's to see the items that you need to pick up. But each time you cast a different spell, the timer of the light decreases, because it has a time for before it disappears. And I can also make it disappear on my own just by pressing poof. But I just actually want it on so you can see it gradually go down as I cast other spells, but then I have to get it right. There we go. And that's this guy over here. This is a very, very placeholder enemy. I haven't even given him the ability to move yet. All he exists for right now is to die, so we're gonna kill him so that he may fulfill his purpose in life. And he dies using the banishment spell, which is a circle. Pew! And now he's dead. So yeah. Draw a simple circle whenever there's an enemy and then you need to kill them. And just poof. And yeah. This I'm thinking of making this more hard. Like, one idea I have is that after they have been gotten the spell on them, they still disappear immediately. You have to do something else, like, I don't know, press a few buttons to kind of simulate some sort of completion of the spell or whatever. But yeah, the overall idea is that the spell is kind of tricky to cast. Well, it's not that tricky, but like, if you're in a hurry, then maybe it's a bit tricky. So then you gotta keep your cool, or else they won't get banished, and then you're gonna have to look at. I hope that it isn't too annoying. That's kind of one reason I'm showing this game, because I want some sort of play testing of sorts. So if this is fucking with your eyeballs, then I might lower the brightness of it if it's too annoying. But yeah, got some basic crouching and garbage like that. So yeah, you got a spell for getting rid of the baddies temporarily, but then they come back eventually. And some of them are more resistant to banishment than others, and some cannot be banished, of course. And there's one more spell, which is my favorite, and that involves a little bottle here, which, by the way, I made in Blender. I'm working with Blender now. I'm trying to get better with models, so I can make models for the game, so that I'm not just having these ugly-ass placeholders all the time. So this is a pretty decent bottle, I think. It's a cutie. And now I'm going to cast the final spell I have thus far, which is a square. And that is the hardest one by far. I gotta keep it spaced out perfectly. Come on. Guys, I'm showing off a game. Please just work for me. Easier than normal. Okay, seriously, this is really pissing me off. Come on. I think I had a hotkey in order to just make the spell activate before, but... Oh, there we go! So yeah, telekinesis spell. Pretty simple. I'll use my scroll wheel, and then I can move it closer or further away. And I can also press Q to stop that one. It also has a timer, of course, as well. But I can also press Q to stop that one and the light one. And I'm gonna try to pick this. Actually, I'm gonna pick something else up, because you can also pick up items that you can pick up. So, well, you can pick up items. You can pick up items that you can collect. And you can use that to, like, get out of range items.
And come on, please!
There we go. And you just do this, and you pull it in, and you... There we go. But yeah, fuck, I was gonna do a thing first. I was gonna have to cast in this bottle again. This is a little fun thing you can do. At least it's fun to me who likes to play around with this kind of mechanic. Whoop, whoop, and Q! Oh, it fell. Well, that's gone forever. It's a shame. But yeah, this mechanic right here, I mean, for the actual trail, it's a very simple, just a particle spawner that just is attached to the mouse and everything. Not very anything special. But the actual, how it detects the patterns is, was a little bit, it was actually pretty tricky. I did it, I had two methods of doing it. Before I knew what the fuck I was doing, I was basically having the game run a script calculations to see where the mouse was. So like, oh, it is currently centered and it is above the center of the screen, so then you just drag it down, and if it's at the bottom, then it will cast a spell, but you can't do it too far out. And a circle, then it marks that you have moved the inner basically, I was just having it run mathematical calculations to see if the mouse had moved in a shape that is accurate to the symbol I wanted. Which of course got really difficult as soon as I got into more complex shapes like triangles. Like circles and lines, that's fine, but as soon as you get into the more advanced stuff that isn't easily calculated with math, that's it's more annoying. I also required one script per symbol, and I wanted something more flexible, so then I went on to do something else, where I found out that Unity actually has this thing where you can trigger things by hovering over their, well, sprite, basically. So I did that. Instead, I just kind of made the symbol, I actually just had an image of the symbol, put out the hotspot that you need to like hit in order for it to register, and if it goes outside the drawing, the sprite itself, then it doesn't count, but if you hit all the hotspots and you don't go outside, then it counts. And in order to show you what I mean, I'm going to quickly get out of this, and now with the magic of editing I have changed a few things to make the square visible. So I just click and bam. Now you can see what I mean a lot better than if I just try to explain it. So you see that if I draw outside this little symbol I have made out of boxes, then it doesn't count. And if I hit all these round hotspots, then it compensates. So it's way easier to do this spell now. PF. I should probably be aiming at something though. This bottle is back because I reloaded the game. Yay! Poof! Yay! I'll just lift you all the way up and do. And yeah. So all the symbols look like this. They're just kind of all occupying the same general space, but they're mostly just kind of separate enough so that you won't accidentally trigger two of them at once. I made sure that they're not similar enough for that. And again, if I hit all the hotspots, but I also draw outside at any point, it doesn't count. And also, here's a little neat mechanic. If you do this on a door, you can actually move the door like away from where it is, but you can open and close it. You can do it just by scrolling, you don't even have to move. Which would probably be useful for trying to subtly shut the door when a monster's on the way in and you don't want it to get in. And you don't want it to notice you walking up to the door and closing it either. So yeah, that is pretty much it, I believe. If you have any questions, which I'm always happy to respond to when it's a matter of it like this, but okay, you can see that it did there. I was trying to draw this. Blah, 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 blah. If you have any questions regarding what I've shown here, if I didn't go into enough detail for your liking, then do answer them. Do ask them so I may answer them. As you can tell, it is indeed past midnight, and for once I'm actually tired. There's a thing about my sleep. It's actually like I'm waking up earlier now, but I'm just tired all day because I'm not used to getting this little sleep. So yeah, I'm gonna have to readjust to that. We'll see how that goes. Also, let's kill this guy, because why not? No, there we go. But yeah, don't really get a lot of questions about technical stuff like this because I assume that most people don't use Unity or have much interest in like gaming stuff in general beyond like, you know. I mean, even before I was actually making games like this, I had quite an interest in how they were made, but you know, I don't expect anyone in my audience to have that. But if you do, then great. I'm going to show you some favoritism by responding to your comment as long as it's a good question. Oh well, respondable. At least. Doesn't have to be good. Oh well. I'm rambling now, as you can tell. You know, it's becoming kind of a tradition. I'm just gonna do it anytime I can end a video that way. I'm just gonna end it by committing suicide. And I promise you, it's not an allegory for the fact that I have depression. I am not intending to kill myself. That's not the kind of depression I have, as of yet, at least. It's not really that severe. But nevertheless, I am going to die now. And I'm going to take this bottle with me, because it didn't survive last time, so why should it now? Doof. You and me, bottle, forever. Forever and ever.